Hello, so this video is going to go over what to put in your 5-subject notebook. So just kind of a brief overview of the course. So AP World History, which we oftentimes call WHAP, has essentially 5 time periods. So we've got Unit 0, that's what we're going to do the first 2 weeks of school. And it's just kind of giving you an overview of everything that happened before 1200. And then we have Period 1, which is from 1200 to 1450. And within Period 1, there's 2 units. Then we have Period 2, 1450 to 1750, also has 2 units. Period 3, 1750 to 1900, has 2 units. And Period 4, 1900 to the present, has 3 units. Okay? And essentially, College Board, these are the people who make your AP test, choose to break down the course this way, so just so you can remember a little bit easier, like this is stuff that happened in this time period, this one, and this one. Okay? So essentially this is how your notebook is going to get broken down. So you'll have the first section of your notebook will be Period 0, the second section will be Period 1, the third section will be Period 2, the fourth section Period 3, and the last section will be Period 4. Okay? So today in class you should have picked up a lot of different papers. So if I open up my notebook, the first thing that I put in was that overview of the course. Okay? And this is the only thing that I glued into my notebook. I don't remember what kind of glue I used, but I glued this into my notebook just on the first page so I could always reference just the basics of what the test is going to look like. So we've got the date of the test, the different parts, the weights, etc. Okay. To the next page, I put the homework calendar. Again, for me, I just wanted that in the front so that I could always come through and kind of cross off homework assignments as I complete them. As you notice, I only printed out for you the homework calendar up until Christmas break, and then I'll put the homework calendar for spring break into Period 3, because that's what we'll be at after Christmas break. So the fall semester homework calendar I've got here, I've got the first page here, and then I've got the second page here on the back. And I personally just like to be able to cross them out as I kind of go along. Okay, so the next page, I put this sheet that you picked up in class. So this goes over Period 0. It's just a nice acronym to remember what happened in Period 0. And you'll see them here, and we'll go over this more in class, but I like having that in the front so I know what is in Period 0. On the next page here is another sheet just to help me remember what's in Period 0. So it's just got some images and just a little bit more detail about what happened. Okay. And then on the next page, I have a little page that says Unit 0 Overview. So in class, when we're done with Unit 0, I'll give you guys some time to go through here and just make some charts, notes, etc. of everything that happened in Unit 0 as a way to kind of study. So I've got that page there. And on the next page, I've stapled in my first map. So you have a lot of these maps. We're going to be making them for every unit, which means we'll make 10 total. So this is one I'm going to do for Period 0. I haven't completed it yet, but essentially what it'll look like is all of the stuff we learned about in Period 0. I'll go through and draw arrows like the Bantu you'll read about. And so, I might draw an arrow like here's where the Bantu are, maybe with a little box right here describing like who the Bantu were, what they did, etc. And I'll do that for obviously the entire area, and that'll just help you understand the geography a little bit better. So I've got my map there. Next page, this is what we did in class today, was we looked at what the spice chart was, the spice tea chart, what those different categories were. And on the next page, this is my homework, the homework that you all should be completing tonight. So as I showed you in class, I've got spice tea written here on the side. I've got the title, the prologue, history before 1200. And then I've got the question. I should have added in there part 1 because this is just part 1. So prologue, and then I'll just add in there part 1. Okay. And then I've got the question that I gave you on class. So what I did was I wrote my question, I went in and annotated my packet, and I'll probably show you my annotations in class, but here's my packet. So I went through and annotated my packets for those first couple of pages, and then I went through and kind of put my annotations into the different spice tea categories here, and then went back and answered this question. Okay, so those were my notes for the first night of homework. And then the rest of the pages for Period 0 right now are blank because all stuff that we'll continue to do in class. Okay, so then I'm going to flip to the next section. So this will be everything that you'll do in Period 1. Okay. So the very first sheet that should go there is this one that says timber. So again, that's our acronym for Period 1. Okay. And on the other side, just like before, I've got my Unit 1 sheet, which goes everything that happened in Unit 1. The next page, I've got Unit 1 Overview, the Global Tapestry. I already started filling out some stuff, but yours should be blank right now because you will do that in class. The next page, I've got my map, which will become my annotated map. I started writing a couple things in here, but I have not finished it yet. And then after that will be your homework. I've already started to do the first couple of mine. Okay. There are some extra sheets that need to go into period 1, but we won't actually staple them in until we get there. So you'll have Unit 2. As you can see, this is still period 1. Okay. And then you're going to make your map for Unit 2 as well. So my notebook has these convenient little pockets, so I will just keep these papers in these pockets, and then once I get there, I will staple them into this section. Okay. If you don't have pockets, I'm sure you could just leave them right there, and hopefully they will not fall out. All right, the next section here is period 2. Okay. So once again, I've got my acronym here for period 2, so 1450 to 1750. And then I've got Unit 3, Land-Based Empires. I've got my Unit 3 Overview, and then I've got that annotated map that I'm going to do for for Unit 3. My extra papers in this, I've got Unit 4, because that's also in this time period, and then the map that I will do for Unit 4. Okay? I'm just going to leave them there so I can staple them in when we get there. All right, the next section is period 3. So once again, I'm going to start off with the acronym. So we've got raising for this one. On the back, I've got Unit 5. I've got the Unit 5 overview that I will fill out later in class. And then I've got the map that I'll do for Unit 5. Okay. My extra papers here are Unit 6 and the map that I will do for Unit 6. Okay. And then finally, our last section will be period 4. Okay. So I've got in the very beginning here my acronym, which is DICE for period 4. On the back, I've got the Unit 7 sheet, the Unit 7 overview, and then the map that I will do for Unit 7. And then my extra papers, I've got Unit 8. I've got the map that I'll do for Unit 8. I've got Unit 9, and then the map that I'll do for Unit 9. Okay, so that's how I chose to organize my notebook. Yours can certainly look different than mine. That just made the most sense to me for how to organize this. So that's all the papers so far that you've been given in class. Any of the other papers that I will give you, we will have time in class to staple.